Men's 5K. Jakob, man. This is literally
Jakob. Yep.
deja vu. Last year, gets upset in the 1500 by Brit, comes back, wins a gutsy 5K. Exact same thing happens here. Loses to Josh Kerr in the 1500, comes back, wins a gutsy 5K. Mo Katir I thought for a moment there he was going to have enough to hold off Jakob,
Me
but
too.
Jakob just found that extra gear, and you're thinking, where was this extra little last gear a few days ago against Josh Kerr? Because Katir is arguably same caliber as a Josh Kerr. They have similar PBs. Katir has a great kick, similar to Josh Kerr. Katir was on the outside looking in on making the 15 final because of, sit and kick, and he was on the outside. But if he could pass Katir in that final 50, why couldn't he have done it in the 1500? And Jakob, in this post-race interview with Lewis Johnson of NBC, was kind of like mentioning how he's, disappointed. He's happy that he at least got through this 5K with the win, but he really, really, really wants to win the 15 5K double. And he's just at a point in his career where like a 5K goal doesn't really mean much to him anymore. It's all about being able to have a dominant week on the track, not just a
Yeah.
dominant one race.
I know. I think that's really interesting. And I also find it interesting. I know there's been a lot of talk about him being sick. It was just, I don't know. It's very interesting because also in that post race interview, he's like, I'm battling through a virus, which is huge, and comes away with a win with a 13:11 season's best. I really thought Katir definitely was going to be able to hold off Ingebrigtsen. But again, that last 50 meters, that last kick that Ingebrigtsen just had saved up inside was just enough to get the win. But it's kind of like what we've been talking about, even with, some of these athletes here. Like, to get the double is just
It's hard.
another, it's very, very difficult. Absolutely. But a lot of these athletes want to go for that challenge. They're like, okay, one race, cool, but I want to showcase my dominance, my depth, my range, my speed, my strength, and all of that. So it's going to be interesting come Paris how
Yeah,
all this will shake up.
and this is probably one of the better eras of 5K running. Looking back in the regular season, the world leader, Aragawa, finished eighth. It's a close eighth, like basically third through eighth, all were within 1 second of each other. But
Yeah,
he
a
ran
second.
12:42 this year, or 12:40 or 12:42, one of those times. And no Ethiopian was in the podium. There's been tens of guys, maybe 10 to 20 guys who are all breaking 13 minutes. And so the depth of Ingebrigtsen, Katir, Krop, Grijalva, Kajelka, Geberwet, Mohamed, Aragawi, it's an incredible field. This isn't like, you win the 5K because, all the guys in the 10K were tired. Some people are hurt. And like, this is a legitimate 5K field. When you have a
Hmm.
bunch of 1240 guys in it, it's legitimate. Yes, there are two notable absences, Kiplimo and Cheptegei, but still, even with those two guys not in it, the Ethiopian can hold their own, and Krop and Katir can hold their own. But I want to give a big shout out to our boy Luis Grijalva of Guatemala,
Yes.
California kid. He gets back-to-back fourth place finishes.
Hmm.
The guy is beating Kajelka, Geberwet, Aragawe, and you can look at last year of like, oh, he got fourth, he got lucky. But now that you're back-to-back fourth place finishes, he should be a legitimate favorite for a medal next year.
Absolutely.
The past 2 years, only 3 men have finished in the top 4 in the 5K. It's Ingebrigtsen, Krop, and Grijalva, because Katir was not in the top 4 last year. So Ingebrigtsen, Krop, and Grijalva should be arguably the top. They should be your favorites for the medal in 2024 Olympics. And if Grijalva can go from not even sure if he's going to be able to represent his home country, Guatemala, in the Olympics, to like maybe just being like a cool, like, hey, post collegiate story, to now be legitimately on the same in the same sentence as a Kajelka, as an Ingebrigtsen, as a Katir, is phenomenal for Luis. NAU, man, they are for some of the post collegiates out of NAU are rolling. I mean, you see Jordy Beamish got fifth, I believe, in the steeple. Grijalva here gets fourth. Abdi Haminur, now he didn't be able to hold his own much. He fell off a bit, but still makes the final here. What Mike Smith is doing at NAU sure is setting them up well for their post-college.
Yeah.
There are some people who thrive in college and then you never see them ages 22 to 26, 27. But right now, Grijalva, Beamish, and Nur are all thriving as post-collegiates.
Yeah. Luis ran a really strong race, and he's definitely a heavy favorite to get a medal in Paris. He's just knocking at the door. And I felt like he did everything right in this final race to set himself up. Again, it was just fast. And you mentioned all the names that he was able to take down in the process. This was not a light 5K field whatsoever. It was loaded with top contenders and everything. So it was just fantastic.
Yeah, there was probably one positioning mess up he probably made in the final 250, but he was able to win basically that chase pack that we're all chasing Crop for third. He beat Grijalva by 0.01. So it's also, I was thinking about this, not to talk about cross country season because hey, it's around the corner. Get ready. September is just about to hit here. But you look at Northern Arizona cross country dynasty right now. They won 3 in a row, and then they lost in 2019, and then they won 3 in a row, and now they're trying to win a 4th in a row. So they've won 6 of the past 7, I believe. And they're going to be the favorite to win 7 of the past 8. But you look at all of their championship teams of this 7-year run where they've won 6 out of 7. The team that you could argue had the best talent was the team that lost. You look at the rosters of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22, and you compare them all. The 19 roster had Luis Grijalva, who is the 4th best man in the world, had Jordy Beamish, the 5th best steepler in the world, had Abdi Haminur, the U.S. champion in the 5K, back-to-back finals maker at the Global Championships. It had Drew Bosley, who right now in his 5th year at NAU is probably going to be favored to either win or get 2nd in cross country. It had those 4 guys all on the same team, and that was a team that lost. It's kind of weird that the most talented team is the team that got 2nd, and then you think, wait a minute, are they the most talented team because they got 2nd? Did that 2nd place finish kind of fuel Grijalva, fuel Beamish, fuel Abdi Haminur, fuel Drew Bosley to become the men they are now, 4 years later? I mean, I feel like it has. Because if they get that win, then they're just super cocky in college and like, hey, we never lose. We always win. We're NAU, we win. But that one loss in 2019 could have humbled them and really, in the long run, 4 years later, turned them into the talent they are now, where it's just bigger than the NCAA, making world finals. Something I thought.
Nice thought. Way to get after it there. Also, it just could be that they're like their training, like it wasn't just short term. Like there's some, like you mentioned, there are some athletes out there that we see them at their prime in college, and then boom, they hit the pro circuit, and you're like, where are they? Knocking at the door, where are they? And it's just interesting because it's like sometimes coaches, can think short term. Like, I have this athlete for 4 years. This is where this is their highlight. This is the start of a new career, a new chapter in their lives. And then they forget, like, some athletes want that longevity in the sport. And so what can we do now during the 4 years or whatever years that we have these athletes for to help them develop into the professionals that stay out on the circuit? So, maybe NAU just knows how to coach, and have that longevity in the sport and perform at the big stages now.
Yeah. It's just funny. If you would we're filming a documentary on them, which you guys should check out. It's on our website, NAU Running with the Boys. I was with them at their was supposed to be their victory dinner, but they still had the dinner planned for after NCAA's, and they were all just like, solemn and like, they're trying to be positive because they still got second, but you could tell that they were like bummed, especially Grijalva, because Grijalva had a bad race that day. If I would have told them, hey, by the way, guys, 4 years from now, you guys are going to be in Budapest, like dominating, getting fourth in the world, fifth in the world, top 12 in the world, they'd be like, what are you talking about, Gordon? Like, I can't even break 1340 in a 5K. It's like, no, just trust me. 4 years from now, you guys are going to be like being upset that you're not able to beat Jakob Ingebrigtsen, let alone BYU. So it's interesting. I don't know. It's fine.
It really is.